Amen. Amen. Hey, amen. 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 Hey, hey, woo. Amen. Hey, hey, amen. Hey, whoa, hey, amen.
Amen. Amen.
And I'm gonna play the intro now.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
Dude, can we high five? Here.
We can high five.
Yes.
We can high five.
This is a high five free zone, safe zone. High five safe zone.
Safe zone. It's a handshake safe zone. So let's talk about how my morning's gone so far. I woke up at 3 o'clock, and like I don't know if y'all have ever like woke up and you know you're not going back to sleep instant. Like there's no like you wake up and it's like 11 in the morning to you. It's like it might as well. The sun could have been up. I could have had like I don't know a fishing pole in my hand or I was so wide awake, dude. Like I woke up and I said,
fishing.
"This is not good," because at 3 o'clock in the morning.
You were so excited.
You can't take ZQL. I was so excited. Yes, you can't take like sleep medicine because then you're not waking up in the morning. You know, you're gonna wake up.
That's a bad
so
time.
It's the point of no return. So I called Jared. Well, I put out like a post at like 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. or whatever. I've been up just to see who else, because you know I wanted to wallow in my sorrows.
I saw Janie was up at that time.
There was like a bunch of people. I was like, wow, this is like we need to start a movement. So then I say I'm gonna go get coffee. This is the coldest coffee. Like they took it out of the fridge and handed it to me through the drive-through window. Jared's, however,
This is the hottest coffee.
the hottest coffee
It's awesome.
ever.
Yeah, it's
and I know
awesome.
that.
You know why your coffee
How do you know
is
it?
the coldest coffee? It's because that air conditioning is blowing straight into your coffee, making it colder.
I don't think you under. So, anyways, I'm at the Starbucks, and he's reaching. This really nice guy is reaching. I did notice. I was like, oh, it feels. They must have got insulated cups. I didn't think that he's dude's handing me a cold coffee, but then he hands me Jared's coffee, and the lead is not secure in any way.
And by lead, he means lid.
That. And like when the transfer goes, like he's transferring it to me. I don't know who grips it more, but it causes the majority of coffee that was in the cup to go on both of our hands. And instantly, I don't know, it's 78 degrees, smoke's going.
Yes.
It's that hot. Like, and both of us pull back, except he's still got the majority cup holder stake because he pulls the cup back with him after he's. So it's from here up is still tingling from the scalding.
That's the worst ever, man, is when you.
That's my morning.
Yeah.
Jared!
I've had a great morning, man. I woke up early.
You did wake up. You did it.
This is a little
He did
weird.
it. You woke.
So I woke up early.
Yeah.
I had some quiet time with the Lord, which is important if I'm going to get my day going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now I ain't talking like 20, 30, 40 minutes of quiet time. I ain't talking like war room quiet time, but just, 5, 6, 7 minutes. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
And then I was driving to work and I was driving here and I was contemplating, do I go get a coffee or do I show up 5 minutes early? And I'm coffee. And I hang a right, and as soon as I hang a right, I get a text from you that says,
Do you want a coffee?
do you want a coffee? I'm like,
And your answer was
Yes.
yeah, I do want a
yes,
coffee.
I do.
And
Yes,
then I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get you a coffee. And I did. I did get him a coffee. I got him 2 coffees. Actually, that's the second
It's
one.
almost like he's like a wife because he knows how I take my coffee.
Liz?
I don't know if Liz is on here.
I saw her.
She
Liz is up there.
Okay. He knows how I take my coffee.
He just compared me to you. I don't know which is worse for.
In the coffee fetching
Yeah.
arena. In the coffee. Mama D, what is up? Miss Donna, what is up?
Miss Donna was up early this morning
Was
too.
she really?
Yeah, she was getting coffee.
Brandon.
Is it weird that I think of the family? I think of Miss Donna Crabtree because I said it's a coffee type of morning, and then she put a little cartoon GIF.
Yeah.
GIF. Is it GIF or GIF? GIF.
It's whatever you want to call it. Just saying.
Did we do one of them
Huh?
episodes?
I don't
on
know,
what
but
it is.
it's whatever you want to call it.
GIF. I'm going with GIF.
Okay.
We're going with GIF. It'll never be called
Let's-
GIF in here again.
Let's go with Giphy. I've heard it called a Giphy.
There's no E, and it's not.
I'm
Yeah,
just
some people add an FY just to be like
Yeah.
funny or stupid.
I'm just telling you.
Be like, hey,
true.
it's a Giphy. Well, that's funny.
That is, I guess. So, but she put a cartoon of Snow White like guzzling coffee out of the pot, and the first thing that pops in my mind, before I even pull my scalding hand back into my Jeep Grand Cherokee 2004 liability only with no AC, I'm like, it's still out there and it's coming in. The first thing in my mind is Donna Phipps Crabtree, Snow White, coffee coming out. I was like, this is kind of like I poured coffee. She would enjoy this. Like, I figured she would laugh at me right now in my
No,
plight.
she would not. She would be like, I'm so sorry that you burnt your hand. Now, I would laugh at you.
Yeah. And then I got cold coffee. Cold coffee. I
I'll
didn't
switch
realize.
with you. I'll-
No, I don't want any part of that cup anymore.
Nope. Hey, my mom's on here.
Hey, Miss
Good
Susan.
morning, mother.
Oh, Deborah Cherry did say, so good to see y'all together. Missing Corey Smith.
Of course, yes.
He's up at Niagara.
He is. He's not missing us.
Hope he didn't fall in.
Is that a joke?
Can you fall in Niagara?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
Ain't like a safety rail.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's nature.
That's why it's called Niagara Falls.
I mean, some
No,
of
it's
it-
because the water's falling.
Hey, if somebody wants to try some hardcore,
That was
I
funny,
mean,
actually.
Robbie Strayer says, guys, it's pronounced GIF.
He also said,
With a
Thank-
dot.
he also said, do you want to build a snowman?
No,
Morning.
he said coffee.
I don't.
I know, but he meant snowman.
Like, it still tingles. Hey, so yeah, Robbie, he was here yesterday at the church. That was really
Man,
cool.
it was so good to see him. I got to see him multiple times this week through Vacation Bible School.
Yes.
Which, by the way, y'all, Paul and Tony did an absolutely amazing job at Vacation
you
Bible
want to know what it
School.
was?
What?
We had the best vacation Bible school, first of all, ever.
It was amazing.
One, obviously, all glory goes to God. Obviously, that goes without saying. Yet we say it.
Praise
But
the
two,
Lord.
we had the most volunteer turnout this year than we've ever had. Like, people just showed up to volunteer like, and they didn't care where they were like, I'll feed kids, I'll march 2-year-olds around. And with that mentality, like horses, we have horses show up, we have a live band. Everything was
awesome,
really
man.
good. A green screen.
We had so my wife and I, we toted around the 4th and 5th graders.
Yes, that's a good age
And
group.
man, they were amazing. They were
age
great
group.
kids. We had fun. And so it was set up a little bit differently this year.
Yes.
This year, there was people who took them from station to station.
It's so good to have you here. Keep talking. I'm just gonna pitch a
There
little
were
bit.
people who took them from station to station, and then there were people at each station, like multiple people at each station.
Yeah.
So in the past, if you were leading a group, when you got to snack time, or when you got to gym time, or craft time, or Bible time, like you had to be actively involved
Yeah.
in that time.
Yeah.
So there was no rest, there was no enjoyment. It was all work.
Go, go, go.
But this time we had enough volunteers where when we took somebody to snack or to games, we were able to
Pull them off.
Yeah. Well, I participated in the games
And that's just fun.
and the snacks
But them s'mores though.
and the crafts. So
They were
I-
like,
I
Paul, do you want a
participated,
s'more?
actually.
I was like, I mean, what are you asking here?
yeah.
Paul, do you want to breathe? I mean, yes, I want a s'more. I petted the horse. I mean, we had a blast. We had a blast. So
We did, and it was amazing. And I did VBS this year. Like, I was a kid.
oh yeah, it was good.
I mean, I did all of them.
like the clapping.
I played the games.
Stuff.
I did the clapping. It was great, man.
Yeah.
Great job. Fantastic job.
So you can't really tell on the live stream that I just gave you a backhanded high five. Anyways, it's not weird. Love your message
Jeremy
yesterday
Smith,
morning.
what is up, my
we should
brother?
all be more intentional.
Cubs did win. When
Were you
were up
watching
there-
our live stream, Jeremy Smith?
No, he was there. Didn't you see him?
Jeremy Smith
Yeah,
here.
he was there.
Here.
Yes, yeah. He was there yesterday.
Where?
Yeah,
At Temple.
where?
No, he'd have come up and said, "Hey" to me.
Kidding. I'm just
Yeah. Oh, that's cool, Jeremy, that you watched that. Neil Gilliland just climbed on.
Dude,
climbed. I thought you were gonna say he just climbed a mountain.
is he gonna be a national?
Well, huh?
Is he gonna be a national?
Yes, yes. He's always him and John
always at
Forrest are always
nationals.
at the national convention, and he's going to be doing a live stream. I'm certain they always do like man on the street stuff. It's going to be good. National convention is my hand still is like tingling.
Is it hurt?
No, it just tingles a little bit.
It's probably good for you. So coffee's probably good for you. Maybe not hot coffee, but I'd say there's like a. Yeah.
That's what dark roast smells like on the
Yeah.
skin.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, man, the national convention is 3 weeks away,
I'm excited.
Man, is it really?
Except
3.5
for
weeks
why.
away.
Yeah, it's like the 20th.
Yeah. Close to
Maybe.
4 then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be good this year. We're gonna be hanging out with We Start Churches every single day. Casey and us. It's gonna be cool. We're gonna be at their booth.
Casey's awesome.
Casey is awesome, and so we're gonna be there. We're getting an order of Beyond Limit shirts. So if you want to win one for free, then go by the We Start Churches booth at the convention. Hang out with us. There's a good chance you'll win one because we're doing they're having a party every single day at their booth. Instead of that one party they do at the end every year, they're doing one every day for about an hour. First day it is at 5. The first day is at 5, and I think the other days it's at 2, or maybe the first day is at 2, the other days it's at 5:55 p.m.
I don't know.
Yeah. Either way,
It would
it's gonna be
make
good.
sense.
So y'all got to stop by and hang out with us and party with us. Jared is gonna be there. Corey's gonna be there. Whole crew's gonna be
It's
there.
gonna be a reunion.
Unity.
Me and Josh.
You can't tell that I've
Norman
been
Kirk.
awake. No, Norman's up here.
Hey, Norman Kirk.
Hey, we're going skydiving
Yes, they are going skydiving.
on Friday. It's
Paul
probably
is.
gonna be Friday. Paul and Byron
Paul and Byron.
Trimble, the comedian who's gonna be here also this week.
And I'm excited about that show.
First Free Will Baptist on Friday.
First Free Will Baptist.
Oh, that's this Friday.
That's this Friday, Captain.
And I preach on Sunday. What a week.
Dude, and we have there's a free skate night this week too. Skate.
Where at?
At-
Chakawene?
Yeah, Extreme Action Park in Chakawene.
You just show up and go
so
for
that's
free.
like, yeah, you just show up and go for free.
Okay, Donna
there's-
Phipps Crabtree, if you from Canada fly to Pitt Greenville Airport. We'll get you in. It's a bridge thing, right?
It's
Or
really
they just doing it?
Yeah.
But they sponsor?
Yeah.
They're a sponsor. We'll get you in to roller skating at Extreme Action Skate Park.
Yes.
I said it right. Well, it wasn't even prepped for that one. It was good. Dude, this
So that's
guy,
what we're doing this week.
this nursing home staffer, it's so hard to read to this nursing home staffer.
Oh yes, I know this story. It is amazing. You sent this to me yesterday.
It's cool.
And it's awesome, dude. So, like, I was backing out of the nursing home, like, not the doors of the nursing home, but the parking lot of the nursing home, and he backed a little too far,
Backs right into the water.
and his car is like
Gone.
a bobber,
Like a
right?
freight
It's like
train.
a bobber. It's sitting straight up like this, bobbing up and down, and my man starts freaking out.
Yeah.
And this guy who works at the nursing home was just getting to work, and he sees it happen. So he goes inside and he says, "Hey, call 911.
You call 911.
You
Get an
give me
AED.
some of those
That's a
circle
police thing.
donut thingies that save people,
They're
right?
the,
Flotation devices."
Yeah, but what are they called?
I-
Rafts?
Yeah.
They're not
I
a
can't
raft.
remember. No.
Lifesavers.
Lifesaver. A life preserver.
Life preserver. Lifesaver. That's
might
so
be a
stupid.
lifesaver.
It
So-
may be. This is the guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey.
There we go. That's the guy. That didn't work.
No, because it's pointed up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Anyways, but
Um,
that's him. Continue.
And so then he jumps in the water,
He does?
tells the guy to unbuckle, and he swims over to the guy and gives him the life preserver and rescues the man from drowning. He said he didn't have time to wait for 911 to get there. He said, "Nope, I ain't got
52
time.
years old.
I ain't got time."
Dude was 52
He'll die.
years old.
And he still jumped in like a boss.
Yep. And then went to work. And then went to work.
"Hey, boss, can I have a day off tonight?" "Nope."
I just saved a life right outside. I saved y'all probably a bunch of
He
money
probably-
from not putting up guardrails
he
there.
said, "No, man, we're short-handed today. We really need you."
Yeah, that's cool. Hang glider. There's a hang glider going from Texas all the way to, hey, Donna Fix Crabtree, Canada. They are
Life
going
ring?
to hang glide all the way from Texas to the Canadian border. And they said hopefully, because wind could carry on
Yeah.
east, because wind is constantly going east.
Maybe they're going to say hi to Miss Donna.
Maybe. They'd really have to go east.
Yeah.
From where they're starting. But so they're going to hang glide for breast cancer awareness. And that's their whole point in doing it. And then it got my mind wondering, can you hang glide that? Like, how do you do that? How do you just hang glide that far? And they got to make stops.
Yeah,
I
they
didn't.
have to make
I was
stops.
like, I didn't know if there was some fancy way that a plane was gonna.
At the potty.
Well, I mean, that is true. They could.
Yeah, they got to make stops.
That's a good point. So they're gonna make stops along the way, right? And then they're gonna get a plane to bring them up to speed. Like they take rope or cord, whatever. They're gonna tie it to them, and they're with the aid of a plane, they're gonna get up to speed, and then they'll launch them again and keep going. They said if they don't have a plane, then they got to find a mountain, which they're going through the plains. I don't know,
That should be.
like Kansas. Good luck.
They're gonna have to stand on the top of a building. There ain't no
How
mountains
far?
out there.
I mean, you're. Well, that
It
was
is.
7 feet. That's a lot of building
Have
climbing.
you seen it? I looked it up on because they have a Facebook page.
Oh, what is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Well, at the bottom of the story, there's a Facebook page, and it keeps updates. And they have a couple of videos. of them-
X-Flight.
X-Flight Gulf of Mexico to Canada is the Facebook page. And it's a group, and you can just kind of go on there, and they got some videos. It's really cool stuff, man. Like, really cool.
I'm excited for them.
Do you go to the Wright Brother Museum?
No, I've been once.
Really?
Yeah.
We probably go every time we go. It's just,
It's like the Lost Colony.
yeah.
It ain't, you know, ain't getting any more lost. I mean, they're yeah.
So when I was a kid, we went to the Lost Colony. Have you been to the Lost Colony?
Have you haven't been, Josh? Have you been?
Okay.
You need some knowledge in your life.
Yeah. So look, I don't know how they do it because it's been 25 years
Mm.
since I've been there, maybe 30. But like, it is a battle between the Indians and the Pilgrims.
Yes.
Basically.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And so they're like burning ships on stage.
Native Americans. Continue.
Thank
No,
you.
I just,
Thank
it
you.
was,
You're
I was
right.
just, you're
Totally right. Totally right. They're burning ships on stage and they're fighting. Well, at one point in time, like it's outside,
Yeah.
and it's getting dark, and it was a war scene, and these Native Americans start walking by, and they're all in there like looking down the aisles. And man, as a little kid, that was so frightening to me. I still remember that fear.
Does it scare you? still?
Yeah.
Somebody
And-
broke into my car.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Somebody broke in to my car, man.
Was it
The Tahoe and the Jeep. And my neighbor's vehicles. Well, not Robbie's, but my other, like,
Robbie locked his car.
all over. Now, once again,
Oh, well, this is the common
Jeez
thing of why
Louise.
we
What is
always
happening?
lock our cars.
What the heck? What's going on?
everybody calm down. Allow.
Why we always lock our cars?
So, come out to the car, and it's a weird text. I noticed that, like, the thing was open, but Melissa had cleaned out the Jeep. I drive a really old Jeep, and whatever. I keep zero things of personal worth in my Jeep. Zero, okay? So, it would cost more for them to shatter the window, so I really don't care. Whatever. If they steal it, hey, that's a claim, and probably end up getting more than it's worth, maybe. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. But I don't keep anything in there, so whatever. I get to church, and my neighbor sends me a picture of my insurance card.
I saw this picture.
And that's interesting that my neighbor would send that to me on a Sunday morning at 9:45.
I saw it.
And she goes, "This was in my car." I said, "Well, that's odd." All of our cars had gotten broke into.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 3 subdivisions total.
So they just take all of your cards, and then when they get to the next car, they're like, "Oh yeah, this stuff's junk," and leave it there, maybe.
Either that or they got spooked because their dog barked and then they cut on the light. They didn't think nothing of it because their dog barks at things, animals and stuff. But yeah, so whatever. So they actually helped me out. They cleaned my car up a little bit for me and made another dude's car dirty. I was like, that's my bad. That's my bad. I got a dirty car. And Melissa drives the Tahoe, right?
Yeah.
And so the center console in every Tahoe that a mom drives, I feel, has 117 DVDs
man.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Cinderella. It's DVDs that
All
we
of
have
them.
never seen, but we hear
Yes.
all the time. Like I've never. It's like I don't know if I've
never
ever seen.
Frozen. I've never seen Frozen.
But you know
I
all
know
the words.
every word.
Yeah.
Every
Well, they're
word.
all shoved into my wife's center console in her Tahoe. Like underneath of that, there was like 4 old phones they probably could have sold and I don't know, got like $100 or so. But you could see where they got tired of looking through DVDs because some of the DVDs were moved, and then they just gave up and didn't make it to the
They're
bottom.
like, yeah, no, nothing's here.
It's not worth it. Which
Not
is
worth
what I
it.
say every time I go to clean it out. I'll start and it's not worth
It's not
it.
worth
and
it.
Shut it down.
And that's why there's 100 DVDs in the center console of every van, Tahoe there is.
And none
It's
of the
not worth it.
cases match the DVDs that's inside of the cases.
So Elizabeth said, "Hey, you know what we need? Let's solve that problem. And
Get
let's-
one of the binders?
Yeah, and that don't work either.
It doesn't
man.
work. No. Because then they're all
We have
misplaced.
one.
We'll put them in alphabetical order. And that works the very first time that you use it.
They're like, well, you better put it back. You better put it back where it goes.
Cinderella, right behind. Z.
No,
I was
it
thinking
don't
Z.
happen. Yeah, I know.
Zelda.
Zoolander.
Zoolander. Zoolander's
Yeah.
a good one. But yeah, so let's think. What has happened to Paul over the course of the past 48 hours? Well, his car got broke into. His wife's car got broke into. He's this really nice guy at Starbucks dumped
Coffee.
Jared's coffee all over his arm and then filled it up. His coffee was cold. He didn't sleep at all. I mean, I got like 3 hours of sleep. I'm on a bad run right now. Go, guys. Oh, okay. All right. I think our beards are tangled. And it comes off like Brillo. It's like, I tell you, man, it's just been, I don't know.
But then
But God's
you
good.
get to hang out with me this morning. Paul sent me a message yesterday.
I did.
And said, hey, man,
Hey, man.
what you doing tomorrow morning?
Yeah, that was, yeah.
And I said, sleeping? He said, want to hang out?
I'm not sleeping.
Want to hang out? And I said, dude, I would love to hang out with you.
He did say that. That's exactly how it went.
Yeah, it's exactly how it went. So it's all about we get to hang out today.
We do need to start a neighborhood watch. Hey, let's go through some of these comments. The Ring doorbell system is actually going to be what catches these guys.
Yeah.
Because they went to a house, and I guess the subdivision over, they got a little more bold, which it would have been better if they went to our front door, and they would have immediately gotten caught. But whatever. Anyways, so they go to the subdivision over, and these people have a Ring doorbell system that has motion alert. And so apparently they walked up, and there was 3 of them. Got a really good picture of their face and everything. Yeah, they're gonna get caught pretty fast.
You remember our cars were broken into in our driveway
Yeah, I do remember.
like
4
4 weeks
months
ago, 5 weeks ago.
It's been like 3 months.
Has it?
Mhm,
We were
Yeah,
whatever.
it's been a while.
Guess who found them? Greenville Police Department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's funny
Greenville Police
because
Department
even though
got
I'm in the
'em.
county, the Greenville Police Department already had a workup on, already had a suspect in mind. Like, it ain't been 12 hours.
They found where they used the car. They got the video. They already had the guy arrested for something else, and said, "Hey, we already got him in here." That's good stuff.
Paul,
No way.
did you see Donna's?
I saw Jessica Lemon. Jessica Lemon, yes. Jessica Lemon, watch this. Jessica Lemon said, I can do, you know what? Watch this.
Well, you
Everybody
can
can
do
see what
this.
Jessica Lemon says. I'm going for it, guys. Here we go. Jessica Lemon. Boom. Must have been the Winterville Starbucks, the barista that, see, and I'm just gonna call him the dude behind the counter.
The barista.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not a
Our
millennial.
beards look good on camera.
They really do. The barista that waited on me said he dumped coffee. The barista that waited on me said he dumped coffee trying to hand it out the window twice on his same hand this morning. Yeah, no, that was him. One of them was me. And this hand that still stings. It's not a hurt sting, it's a tingly sting. Like, hey, you've had coffee dumped on you. Anyway, so that was cool. Jared Ryan, Lemon, that's cool. Look at your t-shirts. We could start a new company, Beyond Limits Total Nutrition. Tag Total Nutrition.
Look,
I don't know you
speaking
said
about
that.
Total Nutrition, yesterday, I don't know if my mom's still watching or not, but
Hey, Miss
yesterday, my mom told my wife that I needed to lose some weight. Yeah,
I don't know what to do.
yeah, that happened. And you know what, Paul?
I'm not going to be a Jared
She's right.
and laugh at your plight.
She's right. I do need to drop a few pounds. But come on, Mom. Like, I can always count on my mom to tell me I look beautiful. Now she thinks I look beautiful and plump.
I wasn't laughing at your weight. I was laughing at the comment.
Yeah, you were laughing
do
at
we
my
want
weight.
to, like, is this a comfortable topic? Can we,
Yeah,
like, can I,
Eat fruit.
yeah, we're comfortable here.
okay.
Very
All right. Hey, Miss Susan, that was dirty. You did your son dirty.
Dirty mama. As she's handing me a piece of cake. You need to lose some weight. Here, have this big piece of cake.
What up?
And I go, okay.
That's funny. We do not have yet video surveillance outside of our house. We've got it all over the place inside our house.
Inside.
We got like 7 cameras inside, none outside. Yes, I understand. That is something that we need. Clearly. Please don't beat me when I'm down. But we're getting them. We are getting them.
Mike Robertson.
Mike, hey, yes. Here's a plug for somebody who's just a really good friend of the show. Mike Robertson sells Ring doorbell systems.
Yes, he do.
1080p.
Hey,
1080p.
1080p.
And you can talk back to him. Say, hey, Robert, get away from my front door.
Yes, you can. And if you say, I don't need Mike Robertson because I already bought mine, but it's kind of laying in the box, and I can't really figure out what to do with it. Like, he can use yours
Yes.
and put it up for you.
He
and
can
set
use
it up.
your security system that's in your house right now and turn it into his, as long as you're not under contract.
Yes.
It's really good. I didn't realize it was that simple. But yes, I need exterior video surveillance. Jeff Baxter said can help you with the weight issue.
Oh, thanks, Jeff Baxter.
Well,
I don't know Jeff
yeah.
Baxter.
Suzanne Creech said that about Jeff Baxter, who is a cop. Connecting the dots here for you.
Oh, okay, thanks.
It's really good.
Call 1-800-MICROBERTS.
That's really good.
That's
Or
actually
SCI
fun.
SCI technology. Oh, Mike Robertson's on. There you go. Hey, Mike. Didn't even know you were on.
Oh,
Look at that. That's a random plug. That's what you get.
for being Paul's friend.
Yeah, this dude. We need to go flying. I wonder if he goes skydiving.
He
with
might
me.
go sky. No, he does not jump out of perfectly good airplanes.
Did he say that?
Mm-hmm.
That's like a sin.
So
He said that.
Like, he can't do
He flies the airplane.
we went and recorded a lot of footage at Skydive Little Washington, which is where we're going to be going. Because I said, hey guys, at Skydive Little Washington, there is very little chance of me being in the mood to record anything when we go skydiving.
Oh yeah, dude. You're
You
gonna
know,
be like,
so if you want good footage,
Have you
I
ever
gotta
been?
come in a plane. Yes,
I mean,
jumping out.
No.
allowed, like, to go with you and just watch.
I've never jumped out of a plane. Like if the feeling is like roller coaster. Like I'm not scared. It's just I'm excited,
You're
nervous.
nervous.
Yeah, it's really cool. I feel like Owen Wilson when he's on Armageddon. And he's like that that excited, nervous feeling
Yeah.
right before they take off. You know,
Right
that's,
before they die.
well, did he live?
I can't remember.
I
but
can't.
A lot of them did.
He lived. He lived.
He did.
He
Okay.
lived.
He lives. He lives.
I followed. See the things you look. Those just joined. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I knew I was going to be awake, so I stayed awake. So I got on Facebook, right, and I followed a rabbit hole of mysterious, strange deaths. Like they get that one picture, and it was like a dude hanging off the side of a plane, and I was like, oh, I'm going skydiving, and I don't even know why. Just click on that, and the people at Skydive Little Washington was like, don't YouTube skydiving, and I end up. There's a thing called cutting away. And it's not good. Like that's not good to cut away. If you're in air and you're falling, free fall,
Yeah.
and then like he opens the parachute, everything's supposed to be good, and it's not supposed to be. I've got to cut away. If you hear that, that's not good. Things are going not good at that
Okay,
point in
okay.
time, and that means he's cutting away from the main parachute, and he's about to pull the reserve. I shouldn't have watched that.
But they do have a reserve.
They do, yeah. They do have a backup, and he said so. Skydiving, he told me skydiving is 99 point. It's like 9997. Like I'm like that's crazy. And those like .00000 like 3 is from incidents as he called, but a lot of them were intentional. Like that's how they wanted to go out, so they left a note behind and jumped out of a plane.
Okay.
So that made me feel better.
Yeah.
It did.
We used to have, when I was in the car business, we had to close if somebody didn't want to purchase something.
Yeah.
And we called it the 99% close. And so when somebody was looking at an extended warranty and they said, hey, man, Hondas are great or Chevys are great.
They are.
And we'd be like, absolutely they are. I'm not going to need any repairs. We'd say, well, let me ask you a question. I mean, what would you be happy if your car gave you perfectly good service 80% of the time? Like, no, I wouldn't. All right, what about, and so we'd kind of up
Yeah,
it like that. So then we got up to like, would you step on an airplane if I told you there was a 90% chance that you would land safely? And I said, absolutely not.
It was rhetorical. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
So,
You put them in a no-win situation because they're a horrible husband and father if they answer yes to that question.
yep.
Yes, I would take my kids on a 90% chance of survival airplane ride.
Can you imagine if planes only had a 90%, and that's pretty good.
I feel like the
Or a
plane.
99% survival rate. I mean, crash rate. Like if only one out of every 100 planes crashed.
That's a bad rate.
Yeah.
Have you ever pulled up the map of current planes flying?
Dude, it's-
like there's thousands over, like even like all over. So the plane that I left Iraq in was actually Continental Airlines. We flew out commercial, and we're on the tarmac, and we're stoked because we're leaving Iraq after 6 months. We're like, woohoo, woo! And we get on the plane, and the pilot starts backing up. You know how when you get on there, it's like you're boarding, and you hear all the boom, boom, you know, and they're testing everything, and the people out walking around, and we're in Kuwait, Kuwait City. All right, and we start backing up. I wish some of my Marine friends, maybe they'll get on later, and this is cool. Anyways, so we start backing up, and then the power shuts off.
Of the plane?
To the entire plane. Like, we stop moving, the electricity goes off, and then it flickers a little bit, it comes back on. I was like, I just went 6 months in Iraq, and I'm going to die on a Continental airline. Like, and then the plane pulls back up to the thing. It's like, pilot was like, nope. Not today, Satan. And so he pulls back up, and then everybody comes out and connects stuff. And we sit there for 6 hours. They wouldn't let us off the plane because once you had boarded the plane, you couldn't get back off the plane. So you got a bunch of Marines who smell like they hadn't had a shower in 6 months sitting like this next to each other for 6 hours while the lights keep cutting on and off. And then some guy named, I'm sure his name was like Larry, comes on and plays with some wires. They were like, I think we're good. And then nobody really even cared. They were like, it's in God's hands now. Let's see what happens. There we go.
And you took off?
We took off. We landed in Amsterdam briefly. They definitely did not let any Marines off there at the time. And they were like, nope. So, and then they refueled.
Not today, Satan's.
Yeah, you ain't getting them. And then we landed in Cherry Point. Winter chicken dinner.
That was a long flight.
It was 18 or 20 hours, something like that. It was really long, yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
God, I mean, I feel like I'm full of just useless knowledge this morning.
You are full of useless knowledge. You're full of knowledge.
We were just talking
Nothing's
about
useless.
you. We start churches?
We weren't just talking about them. Hey, a great devotion today, too. I'm really excited
Oh,
about
man,
that.
yeah, we're doing a devotion today.
Ooh, I'm really
Woo!
excited.
If you're here for the devotion, train of
Joseph.
thought, gone.
Joseph.
Yeah, devotion. That's what we were talking about. Sorry, it's been early morning. If just like I started thinking about the weather right then. I said if you were looking for the devotion, all I thought was
It's
97 and
93
sunny.
degrees.
Is that what it's supposed? Yeah, 93. So, I went way out. Joseph, we're talking about Joseph today. The dude went through some stuff. Like, you think you got this? He didn't deserve to be any of the stuff he got.
No.
Nothing.
And my favorite thing about Joseph. No,
Was his
one
coat?
of my favorite things about Joseph. Yes, I
His
loved his
coat.
coat of many colors. I love the fact that after nothing happened quickly in Joseph's life.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even once he got put into prison, you know, he's followed God, he served God, he did great, he honored God. He gets into prison, God honors him by allowing him to interpret dreams.
Yep.
And you think, oh yeah, man, this is going to be a quick stay. No. And then he's in there another 2 years because they forgot about him again.
Yeah.
Like, and that relates so perfectly in our lives, in my life, really. You want it to happen immediately. You know, whether, you know, if you're going through a situation that you're not happy with, you want that situation to be over quickly. And when it's not over quickly, then we think that God's forgotten about us. But God doesn't forget about us. He's just working his ultimate plan. And I love that about Joseph, about how nothing happens quickly to him.
Yeah.
And he still allows God to. So,
That's perfect.
yeah.
Hope y'all enjoyed that devotion. It was really good. It was good. No, and that's a huge point because we want things to happen like that.
Yeah.
When you catch the flu, when you catch a stomach bug or something, you have it for like, I don't know, most stomach bugs last for like 24 hours. 24 hours is from start to finish. The really bad part is about 12 hours. And like,
You just want that done.
you just want it done. It seems like an eternity. I had pneumonia. Seemed like an eternity, you know?
You count when you have the stomach bug. Like, I'm always like, hour 1. Okay, I'm done with hour 1.
No,
Hour 2.
no,
I'm
but
done
I
with
probably
hour
will
2.
now.
Like I know.
Seems
Like,
like a
I'm
wonderful-
probably only gonna get sick like 8 more times. You know, like I do that in my head. Like, okay, that one's down. I got 7 to go. Let's roll.
we've got, is it Finnegan? Finnegan? Finnegan?
Yeah, vinegar.
Finnegan.
Yeah,
We've got that on tap.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll call you next time.
There's a bottle, because I can't. And then some people are like, well, if you don't, then you won't get better because you're just keeping it. Nope, lie. Not true at all. I've researched it. Well, at least Google says it's a lie.
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 It also said
Sorry,
that I was
didn't mean
not
interrupt
supposed to
your
live
train of
through it.
thought.
This is not going to take. Anyway, so Joseph is, awesome. Like, he had to go through these long periods. And it wasn't, hey, I believe in God. And then, like we're told in 2019, well, that's what you need because now everything's going to go great because God wants to see you just, he wants to give you that new car. He wants to give you that new job. And then what happens is when that don't happen, you don't doubt the person who told you that. You doubt God because the person who told you that threw that all on God and said, well, God's going to give you all this good stuff, and then it don't happen. Well, then you got Joseph who comes along who fully, intently, wholly supported and loved God, and he's thrown in a hole. And then he's thrown in prison.
A hole.
Yeah, a hole by his brothers. The people who were supposed to love him threw him in a hole. And then he's thrown in prison after being accused for something he didn't do. None of the stuff he did. So you're thinking, with my 2019 goggles, I'm thinking, well, I wonder if somebody told Joseph, if you follow God, it's like he's going to give you all this stuff, or it's going to be great. If that kind of gospel, that fake gospel existed, because
I'm sure it,
he
did. Hey, Carrie, first of all.
Is Carrie up here?
Yeah, she said, hey, guys.
Oh, hey, Carrie.
So, and hey, Archie, what is up? Brandon kind of pulls it together here. So at the end of, and I don't know if we're supposed to be diving into the devotion right now, but
Yeah, whatever.
at the end of the devotion, he's talking about how Joseph knew the promise of God. That Abraham and Isaac had passed that down to him, and he had that faith that, you know what, it might not happen with me, but I know that it's coming.
Yeah.
And that's, like, we read Job.
Yeah.
Job is how many chapters? Right?
20.
It's a lot, right? But it's
4.
But you can sit down and read Job in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And we always go to Job as the go-to for persecution, but holding strong.
Yep. Yep.
But what we don't realize, so Job had 6 sons and 6 daughters. Is that right? I'm going off of memory here. So let's call it
All of them.
12 kids, right?
I see where you're going.
Okay.
I
So
like
at
this.
the end, the Bible says that at the end of this trial with Job, that God gave him more kids. Well, it's a 9-month process to have a kid.
Yeah.
So we're talking 10, 12, 15 years later before Job was fully restored.
Yeah.
But when we read it in a chapter. And we're like
5
oh,
minutes.
okay, so now this happened, and then tomorrow or next week or next month, I'm going to be restored. And we lose sight of it. And then when that doesn't happen, we think that God is kind of sitting on his hands and not helping us, and that he's not there. And that's completely the opposite.
Yeah. And I love the devotion, and it's not about Job. Yet Job's faith was strong, and it's not about Joseph. Joseph's faith was strong. Who ultimately gets the glory out of all this, out of every single story that we've done and are going to do, is that God gets the glory out of all of it. You know? Yeah, Joseph had incredible faith that I don't know if I could. I'm thrown in prison for something I didn't do for a long, long time. Okay. And then witnessing for God on behalf of God, interpreting dreams on behalf of God during that time. And that's what we get to, no matter where you're at, right? And this is going to be a good devotion. We probably should get it started because,
Sorry.
Yeah,
Totally my fault,
That's
man.
good. Because no matter what, maybe, and we say this a lot, maybe you're in a hospital room right now, or maybe just having crappy luck right now, and you're like, I don't know how this is. Oh, yeah. Well, you better. Somebody broke into my car. And Melissa was the good one out of that. She was like, Easton goes, I just want to. Maybe they'll come back tonight so I can punch them in their face. And Melissa goes, No, we're gonna pray for them.
That's what Liz did. Liz prayed for her.
We're gonna pray for them. But you know, Joseph he goes through all this. No matter what you're going through today, and maybe it's just bad luck. Okay, it's not always Satan. It's not always. Sometimes it's life. Okay, and you're just having a bad day, and it's nothing more than just having a bad day. But you see your day by day by day. God sees the total picture. Okay,
Yeah.
He is just as present the day you were born right now as the day you're not going to be on this earth anymore. He is currently in both times at the same. He's looking at our lives like a painting, and it's only like a painting. But he's looking at our lives
like a painting.
He knows how it's going to end up. He knows how he's going to get the glory, and all we have to do is just trust him. Even if it don't go our way, even if things aren't going good and don't look good, and you're like,
Even if he puts a little tree right over here,
a little happy tree. Oh, this is Bob Ross.
and you don't like it,
Bob Ross.
and you don't like the happy little
See,
tree.
now I'm not going to be able to use it, but I'm telling you, no matter what you're going through, God knows where it ends up.
Yep.
And you're always going to have two options. It's either trust and glory, give God the glory, or not. Okay, and we hope this devotion does that for you.
Yes, absolutely.
We really do. You want
Let's
to
do
start it?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hey, it's gonna be 93 degrees today. 94 tomorrow, 93 Wednesday, 94 Thursday, 92 Friday, 93 Saturday. No rain.
Oh, that means I got to get my water hose out because my plants are dying.
Are they really?
Yeah, they dying.
No,
They-
I mean it's
they
a
dying.
20% chance, so that's there's no rain.
Yeah, they're dying. They're dying. We also have a softball game tomorrow.
Today, is it
Tomorrow.
Tuesday?
It's tomorrow.
Oh, I was gonna go watch somebody else play tonight then.
The 24th.
Cool.
That's today.
Yeah.
Y'all got a softball game today?
Hey, brother.
No, I'm almost 100% certain they said it's Tuesday
No, it's
because of the
Monday.
rainouts from last week.
It's no Monday.
I think they moved it to Tuesday because of the rainouts from last week.
Bob Russ paintbrush, Jared Ryan. That is awesome. Shell says hi,
Hey.
but I think that was to Donna PH.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Bob and Deb. Yeah, that's a true story. My dad had a phase where he was painting a lot, and he liked to watch Bob Ross. So,
I can't.
I
good.
love Bob Ross.
yep. I had a cowboy face. So
We
you learn
talked
about
about-
my stat.
I told my family about that yesterday.
That's a
It was
real hat.
great.
If y'all go back and watch that VBS promo I did, that Stetson hat that I'm wearing,
It's legit.
that's a legit. I went to Mario's Boots. I don't even know if they're still there.
They are.
They are.
Yeah.
And I walked in, and it was like, I don't know, 8 years ago, and like I was gonna be a cowboy.
So let me set this up for him real quick, and then
Kind
we'll
of
get
went
to
the other way
devotion.
on that.
So we
Now we're
get
skinny jeans.
yeah, we get there. I'm in the back yesterday, and I pick up Paul's hat, and I'm like, dude, this is a legit hat. He goes, yeah, legit money too. And I said, did you just go buy it for VBS? He said, no, man, I've had it for like 7 or 8 years. It's been up in my attic in a box. And I'm like, how much did this thing cost? And you're like, more than $200.
Yeah, it was more than 200. It was like 200, 225,
And I
250.
said, how did you buy a cowboy hat?
Bruh.
And this is his answer. He goes, I went through a cowboy stage.
Well, it was true. All right. When
I went through.
I
a
don't
cowboy stage.
sugarcoat some things. Like
It was funny.
when I'm around Jared, I just don't,
It was funny,
whatever, It is
man.
what it is. I went through a cowboy phase. I wanted to be a cowboy. It lasted about a week and a half. It was a very costly week and a half because I got boots, dude. Not even the cool boots. Like they were the pointed. Like I'm a real cowboy. Like you're not doing actual stuff in them. Like you're going to a.
Because like actual cowboy boots are comfortable eventually once they break in.
Yes, not these ones. Like these had the point. These had the point on the end so that like I needed to be on a bull or something.
Little spurs on the back of them.
No, you add them after the fact. But yes, they could have. I mean, they didn't. They weren't comfortable to me. None of that made me happy on the
Should've been a
inside.
cowboy.
I was living what other people wanted me to live, which was a cowboy. Melissa liked Brad Paisley at the time. I was like, well, watch this. That lasted a week. That was horrible. All right, let's do a devotion. Before I embarrass myself in it.
Please, Lord, rescue us from this.
All right, the devotion. We need a
Let's
picture
do
proof. Oh, I'll show you VBS Pro. I think. Yeah. Oh. When we get done with this devotion, I got some proof.
Yeah.
Let's do a devotion.
Let's do it, man.
In 17.
Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to.
Yes.
So, I am so excited to be here with you today.
Hey, so yeah, this is Paul. Corey is gone. Still, he's on vacation up at Niagara.
Yes.
Corey, we miss you. We love you. Hope you're doing.
Get back quickly.
Get back quickly. But Jared,
Man, I'm just telling you, it has been so wonderful hanging out with the Beyond Limits family this morning.
yes,
And I absolutely love that I get to be here for one of my favorite devotions that Brandon has ever put out. Like, I love this story of Joseph. And we have that for you today, and I'm so excited about it.
yeah, it's good. So we're in. This is episode number 3 of Old Testament Stories of Faith, and man, this one is really, really, really good. Now, if you're watching on Facebook, we always drop the verses because one of our Beyond Limits family members said, hey, sometimes I don't catch all the verses that you're doing. Could you drop them? So we've been doing that. If you ever get behind on this, you can check it out, our Facebook live feed, and just search us on Beyond Limits. Find us, and you'll see the verses and everything. Comment, hang out with us. It's really cool.
They can search your daily show.
You can search your daily show, or you can actually just type in Beyond Limits, and we're up there. We're that high up.
Ooh,
I'm
that's
excited
awesome.
about that.
That's
yeah.
really cool, man.
Hey, friend. So we're going to go to Genesis and then Hebrews and Genesis, but we're going to be all over the place with it. It's really cool. We're talking today. Episode 3 is Joseph. Okay, if you grew up in Sunday school, then you remember he had a coat of many
colors.
many colors, or as one of our
colored
followers says, Technicolor dream coat.
That's a play.
Is it
It's
really?
a Broadway.
Is it really?
Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat. Yes.
I question some of the people who follow us now. I do. So it starts out, if you don't know the story about Joseph, he is a very close descendant of Abraham. So you hear Father Abraham. Abraham
Had many
Isaac.
sons.
He did have many sons.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good. I feel like we're having Sunday school here. It was Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and then you move down into all Jacob's sons, all of which didn't particularly like Joseph because he was favored.
He was.
And this is, so we start in Genesis right here. Genesis 50, 24 through 25 says, Then Joseph said to his brothers, I'm about to die, but God will surely come to your aid and take you up out of this land to the land he promised on oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Joseph made the Israelites swear an oath and said, God will surely come to your aid, and then you must carry my bones up from this place. And that is Genesis 50, 24 and 25. And then Hebrews, looking back, Hebrews, because clearly New Testament references it when it says, by faith, Joseph, when his end was near, spoke about the exodus of the Israelites from Egypt and gave instructions concerning the burial of his bones. Now, what is incredible about this is that they didn't have the promised land at this time.
No, they did not.
But his faith that was unwavering throughout some times, which is what we talk. Joseph is a guy, and I'm going to let you expound on this because you're really good in Joseph knowledge. But
Joseph expert.
yeah, and we're talking about a guy, a God follower who was hated by his brothers.
Yep.
So much so they threw him into a hole and sold him into slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and slavery was an afterthought. They were just going to leave him in
They
the
were
hole.
gonna kill him.
They were
Yeah.
just going to kill him. But then caravan comes by. They end up selling him into slavery. That's how he ends up in Egypt. And God is fulfilling his plan, but on the receiving end of that, you got to think, you're like, what in the world is going on in my life?
Yeah, so for Joseph right there, it really looks like things are about to take a turn for the good. So he has been in a pit, he gets sold into slavery, and when you're sold into slavery, man, you don't really know where you're going to end up. And Joseph happens to end up and a very wealthy, high-profile, high-placing official in Egypt,
Yeah.
and then excels at what he was put there to do. So he is like, okay, all right, God's got me now. I'm out of the pit, I'm out of the trouble, and now I'm hanging out and I'm enjoying the good life. Right? I'm still a slave to something.
Yeah.
Right? But I know that God's got me here. Then Potiphar's wife
Yes.
wants to sleep with Joseph,
Yep.
and Joseph's like, whoa, no.
Pump the brakes.
I don't think that's in God's plan.
That ain't how I roll.
So he takes off, and she grabs his coat. She says, oh, hey, Joseph's trying to make advances at me. So Potiphar throws him in jail. Joseph's in jail. Now he finds himself right back in a pit, right back in a hole, right back in slavery to something else. And there happens to be two people from the king's court who were there, a baker and a cupbearer, and they have dreams. And God says, God allows Joseph to interpret their dreams. So now, if I'm Joseph, and this is where I really love the story of Joseph, how it just really pops to life for me here.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm Joseph, I'm thinking, all right, now I'm in prison, but God put these people here for me to interpret their dreams. So God's about to rescue me.
Yeah.
And so he tells them the dream. He says, don't forget about me. Right? He's relying on man. He says, don't forget about me when you get in there. So they go in there, and you know what? They forgot about him.
Yeah.
And so when we're reading through the story, we don't often realize that Joseph was in prison for over 2 years. All right, so, man, he has not only has he been through being in a pit, not only has he been through being thrown into prison, but now he's there for 2 years. And in our lives, man, we expect God to rescue us immediately.
Yeah.
We expect God to, if we're praying for healing, or if we're praying for financial healing, or if we're praying for a friend or for a situation, we expect God to come through quickly. Like, if I don't have, we'll say, okay, God, if something happens tomorrow, then I'll know that's you.
Yeah.
Right? Well, Joseph interpreted a dream.
Yeah.
I think if God's going to give me the knowledge to interpret Paul's dream, I'm in pretty good standing here.
Yeah.
Right? But 2 years go by before Joseph sees his freedom come about and his healing come about.
And I don't know, I'm looking into the camera right now for the live stream audience, but if you're listening on Spotify, iTunes, or any iHeart, any of the rest, have you ever done this, Jared? Have you ever said, God, just show me a sign?
Yes. Oh, yes. I most certainly have.
I have done that. I've been there before. I've been that guy. And I can't, imagine being on the receiving end of that, being God. And then you've got this little Paul down there saying, show me a sign, God, please, just show. And I'm like, but you're God. And then you go back and you read, and Joseph's in jail for 2 years. All this stuff has happened. Noah built an ark. We went over him, I think it was episode 2 or 1. Noah built an ark for between 70 and 120 years. And then in 2019, just so Paul Armstrong can say, show me a sign, God, and then look up in the sky to see if God, but let's work past that. You people, no matter what circumstance you might find yourself in today, this Monday, because maybe Monday maybe you don't have a job to go to today because you lost it on Friday. Like, you have to trust God in the process and through the mud. You have to trust that God does, in fact, have your best interest in mind, even if it doesn't.
But that's so hard.
It is hard. It is very hard to do. And I can only imagine that as Noah is being ridiculed for building a boat in the middle of the desert, as Joseph is sitting inside of a prison cell for 2 years, completely forgotten and hated by his own family, who tried to kill him, that there were times probably where he was like, what is happening here? What is going on here? But he never lost faith in God, in the God.
So we sing a song in church. It's on the radio. It's really popular right now, called "Do It Again."
Yeah, it's good.
And I love that song because it really speaks to the fact that I might be going through something right now, and I'm not trusting in a God who has never came through for me. Right? I'm trusting in the promise of a God who continually shows himself to be faithful.
Yeah.
And when the verses that you read earlier were speaking to that point exactly, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, they had passed down the promise of God to their sons. And Joseph had heard this promise of God.
Yeah.
He knew that God said that, hey, you know what? You're going to be enslaved. Your descendants are going to be enslaved, but I'm going to deliver you.
Yeah.
And so Joseph always was able to hold strong and to do right because he had that promise of a future, right? And so you said a minute ago that if you lost your job on Friday, here it is Monday,
Yeah.
and you're like, what do I do? And man, that is such a hard position to be in, and not just with a job loss, but I mean, I've done dumb things on a Friday and woke up on a Monday and been like, ooh, did I really do that last week? Did that really happen?
Yeah.
And we watched a series called It's Not Too Late, and in our small group, and it was that same thing where some of you 15, 20 years ago have done something that you wake up to every day and you think, oh, I cannot believe I did that.
Yeah.
But the promise of God that says, I love you and I'm faithful is the only thing that we can hold on to, man, sometimes.
Yeah.
That hope and the promise of God is really the only thing that gets you through those times.
Yeah.
Because it ain't no words. You can't say anything revealing enough to me.
Yeah.
You know?
I know. Yeah.
It's sometimes the best thing you can do for somebody who's hurting is just to be there, right? Give them a hug or
Ice chips.
that's it.
And there's a saying, ice chips, because somebody asked, when you go visit people at the hospital, okay, what do you talk about? Because some of these people aren't leaving the hospital. What do you talk about? And I learned almost as soon as I started, you talk about ice chips, because everybody thinks that you walk in there and you're just gonna drop this big theological bomb. No, if these people are secure in their salvation and they know where they're going when they die, one, that does give them a peace, that other people you can't have. But two, we don't go in there. I go in there as a personal friend. I'm not, we go in there and we talk about ice chips. The most simple things help out so much.
Can I get you some ice?
And and that's it. It's so at those times they don't want to hear these big. They don't want to know how much you know. They don't. They want a friend.
Right.
That's it. Be a friend. And so that's really cool. Brandon goes, let's go back a little bit further and look at Genesis 15, 13 through 16. It says, then the Lord said to him, know for certain that for 400 years, which is what you were just talking about, your descendants will be strangers in a country not their own, and that they will be enslaved and mistreated there. And he's talking about the captivity. Right. All right. But I will punish the nation they serve as slaves, and afterward they will come out with great possessions. You, however, will go to your ancestors in peace and be buried at a good old age. In the fourth generation, your descendants will come back here, for the sin of the Amorites and not yet reached its full measure, or has not reached its full measure, sorry. This is part of the conversation between God and Abraham while God was making his covenant with him. During this conversation, God told Abraham that his descendants would become more numerous than the stars in the sky, and that they would inhabit the promised land that stands before them. Also, during this conversation, God tells Abraham that his future descendants would inhabit a foreign country where there would be slaves mistreated for 400 years, but that he, the Lord God, would come to their aid and rescue them. This undoubtedly spoke of the enslavement of the Israelites in Egypt, and we're talking about the Exodus. This can be found in Exodus. Remember, Joseph is the great-grandson of Abraham, and during this time there was no recorded Bible for these guys to refer back to. Joseph would have had to been told this prophecy either by his grandfather Isaac or by his father Jacob.
Right.
Either way, Joseph knew it. He believed it. When Joseph spoke these words regarding his bones, this was before the Israelites were forced into slavery. Joseph was still second in command of Egypt at this point, but he knew that this wouldn't always be the case,
right,
and that there was a good chance that his descendants would be a slave. But more importantly, he knew that God was faithful.
Yeah.
You know,
Do it again.
so he's prophesying, hey, there's some bad stuff coming. The entire nation, okay,
Mm-hmm.
are going to be made slaves of Egypt. And that wasn't even a thought at the time. And then they are.
Right.
And they're saying, but don't forget, listen, this is going to happen. Don't forget where you buried me, because I want to be buried there,
Yeah.
okay? They end up doing that, you know.
That's so awesome. And parents, your kids need to hear what God has done in your life and what God has done in your family's life. They need to hear that. You need to bring up those things, no matter how big or how small they might seem. Write them down.
Yes.
You used to have the family Bibles, and stories would get written down in there, and we don't do that anymore. But the stories of God's faithfulness, it's one thing to read the Bible. It would be one thing for these Israelites to hear it coming from Joseph and saying, okay, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. And they'd be like, okay. It's another thing for Joseph to hear it from his dad.
Yeah.
To say, this was the promise to our family. This is what God told your great-grandfather. This is how God proved. Can you imagine Joseph's sons hearing from Joseph, listen, this is what happened to me, and look at how God has redeemed us.
Yeah.
And look at the relationship you now have with your uncles who tried to kill me.
Yeah.
But we trust God, and this is how God works, and this is how God moves. And when we do that as a family, when we do that in your personal life, my mom used to always, and I think we've talked about this before, but doubting your salvation, or, hey, am I really saved? And that's something as a teenager, as a young college student, that would come up for me from time to time. And I remember my mom saying, listen, if there's ever a point in time where you doubt your salvation, like, you should take time right then, nail it down, and write in a Bible, write in a notebook, I know on this day that I asked Jesus into my heart. And it's just that, it's that writing it down and telling it to the generations thereafter. We celebrate our kids' birthdays where they gave their hearts to Christ, because we want them to know that God saved you.
Mm-hmm.
He was faithful, and he's going to continue to be faithful for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Not only that, but what you're talking about points to a good thing. You are memorializing an event.
Yes.
Exactly like
Yes.
God tells us to do. And we talked about this, I think it was last week before, when the Israelites crossed through the sea, parted on dry land. Okay, so the water's gone and they walk on dry land because God. There you go. Because God wanted them to. They get over, and he says, set up an altar so you don't forget. And that's the exact same thing you're talking about. Write it down so you don't forget.
Yeah.
And so you don't remember. Because I'm going to be faithful. You just write down and remember, because I've told you, no man can pluck you out of my hand. Okay?
Yeah.
I've told you that. Just write that down. God said write it down.
God said
That's
write it
really
down.
cool. Hey, write this down.
And we do that in our small group class, where when we take prayer requests, I have a running list of our prayer requests that goes back a year and a half since when we started doing it.
Yeah. Oh, that's
And
cool.
we go back and look, and we
Yes.
say, okay, hey, God answered this prayer.
Yeah.
God answered this prayer. God answered this prayer. And we can just see time and time and time again where God has been faithful, and that helps us trust him more. And it's not always the big things, man. It's not always, God comes through in a big way. God shows off. We say that when God shows up, he shows off, right?
Yes.
And that's true. God does crazy, miraculous, out of left field things where you just look and say, wow, that was God. But he does small things too. And those small things on a daily basis, if you stop and take the time to think about, where did that? So I was with a client, and I'm sitting there, and I'm going over some examples, and I pull up an example that I had just done. And it was a totally random example. And I show them the example. I didn't know these people. And I get done, and they're like, oh, hey, I know him. He's a elder at our church, and he's blah, blah, blah. Like, to me, it was completely random.
Yeah.
But God just happened to, and so when we take the time to look at even those small details that God, that's when we can really lay that foundation and see, you know what? day by day by day by day.
Yeah.
In every detail, God is working in our lives.
Yeah.
And that's what Joseph did.
Yeah. Are you alive right now? Are you listening to a podcast? Are you fortunate enough to have internet? You know, you have a 4-chamber heart, which in and of itself makes there's an electrical impulse that keeps you alive consistently every time your heart beats. And when we get focused and sidetracked on so many distractions or noises or, you know, and it's easy. It's easy to get, well, my job, we are kept alive by an electrical impulse that God allows. God allows every single breath. I mean, if you're driving to work right now, take a deep breath. You just breathe it in. And it feels good. God gives us this.
Right.
And we're granted this to give him praise and honor and glory. And that it's never about us. It's always about him. And one of the family up here put something, and I'm trying to find it. It says, you take the story of Joseph's life as many puzzle pieces, or many pieces of a puzzle that he didn't know the next piece of the puzzle, but he had the hope that God has this because he has been there in my past.
Yeah.
So God's holding the puzzle. All right, it's like God taking the puzzle, taking it apart, giving it to you, say, put it back together. You're really going to love where this is going to end up. Now, there's some valleys inside this puzzle. You're really not going to like them parts. You're not. There's some mountains. You are really going to like them parts. But when you're done, you're going to just be amazed at the puzzle I've given you. You are. And then you're just going to glorify me with it. And that's his hope, and it's great, and it's wonderful. And when Joseph goes through this, he is constantly and consistently faithful to God in times where Paul, it'd be very hard. It would be very hard, if we're being honest, to be wrongfully
you
convicted.
can't do that.
Yeah.
Unless you have that hope of Christ inside of you. You can't do it.
Yeah.
And we were talking earlier about the length of time. The same thing with Job. You know, I don't know, Brandon might go over that story, so I don't want to push ahead too far.
Yeah.
But you know, you can read the story of Job in 2 hours.
Yeah.
It took 15, 20 years for Job to be fully restored. You know, and so we quit on God.
Yeah.
And we say, oh, well, God must not be really working in my life. But when you can go back and draw, like Joseph did, draw on that promise and see where time and time and time again, God has proven himself faithful.
Yeah, and you said it, write down the moments. Write down the moments where God has proven himself to be faithful. Take the Bible, read the Bible, trust God's word, but also write down your own personal times where God has come through for you, time and time and time again. And don't leave out those times where he has done something which we take for granted, like, hey, I woke up today. That's big, because a lot of people didn't. You know, that's big. Your every day is wonderful and a gift from God. Take it as a gift from God. You know, and it's so wonderful. Don't just get caught up in that, and please don't. And this is our last thing that for this podcast today, which has been really, I have loved very much this one. If you turn on a TV and a preacher tells you that when you get God, that you're gonna, that new car is coming your way, or that new job is that's going to pay you so much money is coming your way, and they start pushing into you what's called a prosperity gospel, run. And I mean that, run. There might be good teachings. There might be some good teachings, but I have found...
God wants us to prosper.
Right.
But
because it's clear. He says, I want you to prosper.
Yes.
But what is prosper? Prosper is not. God did not ever say, I'm going to give you a new car. Prospering, when you're looking through God's eyes, is completely different and not materialistic at all. At all. I mean, you're talking about a God who provides for the birds of the air and says, he references the birds and says, they don't need. Look, how much more important are you? Does he want you to thrive? Absolutely. But are there going to be times where you got to pick up your cross? You better believe it, because he says it specifically. Every one of the apostles died, because minus John, but he was tarred and banished to Patmos. Things didn't go well for him. Now, where would they have been if they said, Listen, I was promised a new chariot. I was promised whatever, but they weren't. Jesus was honest with them. He didn't sugarcoat things, and and it infuriates me because who gets blamed when you don't get the new car or you get fired, or something? God didn't come through for me. It's not the guy who told you that God was going to do that. You just got to trust that God is with you in the fire, with you in the valley, and He wants what's best for you. And sometimes wanting what's best for you means that He's going to get the glory out of it no matter what it is. Joseph could have said, I've been in prison for 2 years. This stinks.
Yeah.
You know what? I wasn't promised this. I wasn't promised this. I give up.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He was faithful to the one true God.
He was. And Jeremiah said, so
this is good.
Yeah. So Jeremiah, and this will be my last point
Yeah.
as we talk about looking back at what God has done. So Jeremiah loved the nation of Israel, and he had seen it completely get demolished and had seen it completely taken by foreign armies.
Yeah.
And he's standing there in the middle of all of this destruction. And he remembered that God had promised that He would one day restore them. So in the midst of all the people of Israel being led off into captivity, in Lamentations chapter 3, verse 22 and 23, Jeremiah says this, "It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed. His compassions do not fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness." And in the middle of destruction and death and captivity, Jeremiah was able to praise the Lord because he knew that the promises of God were true and that God is forever faithful.
God's faithful. Wow.
Yeah.
Did you see me just pull my earphones?
Yeah, I did see that.
Really hurt pretty bad. I just yanked my earphones on the right side of my ear. It's probably bleeding right now. Anyways, hey, we love you guys. No matter what you're going through today, on this Monday, no matter how you're starting this week, God is faithful. And you might be in a season right now that you're walking through the valley, or you're crawling through the valley because you're done walking. You can't even walk anymore. God is faithful. And you might be on a mountaintop and you just got the keys to a very nice car or whatever, and that is awesome. That is so very good. God is faithful. Mm-hmm. And maybe you're somewhere in the middle where you just got back from vacation, but you're going to a really nice job. Somewhere in the middle of that, God is faithful.
Yeah.
Okay, no matter what your puzzle looks like and you're slowly collecting them, or your pieces, putting them in place, God is faithful.
God is faithful.
God is faithful.
God is faithful.
Don't forget it. I hope that y'all have a great week.
Man, I loved hanging out.
Oh,
thanks.
We're okay. All right, we're hugging.
Oh.
And I did a pat. I did 7 pats on your back.
7 pats.
That
Peyton
was fun.
Manning pat. That's what we call it in my house. Peyton Manning pat.
The
Peyton Manning football player. Every time he hugged somebody, he'd always pat him on the back. Peace, love, and grace, y'all. Thank you, Paul, for letting me hang out.
Thank you, Jared, for hanging out.
You're welcome.
So that sounds really good, right? So Jared's going to be on quite a bit, and he's also we got National coming up. He's going to be at National. There's a ton of stuff going on. Hey, and hop up on the Facebook page because you get to see us go skydiving on Friday. That's a thing.
Not us.
Yeah, well, something like that. So you've been hanging out with Beyond Limits. Have a great Monday. We love you guys. We'll see you on Wednesday. If you are on Facebook Live, don't go anywhere.
Don't do it.
Because we're going to talk about how my car got broke. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Talk about how my car got broke into. And coffee spilled on me.
It's a great morning.
See you in a sec. Have a good Monday. Love you.
Feeling like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show.
You almost hit my face. It was scary for me. My whole life flashed in front of my eyes.
Turn that AC back on.
Oh, yeah. It was warm.
It's getting hot in here.
I'm sitting in the sun.
It's
This is a
getting
real
hot in here.
This is a real sun.
Oh wait, I got because Josh is here.
So the guys over here.
Yeah, these guys are scooting in. There we go.
Hey,
Josh.
guys.
They're kind of scooting in. What's up?
Josh, thank you.
All right, so Josh, Jared,
Hi.
they're over here typing, getting stuff up. and running, and it's good. So you know these guys are with us all summer. New guy Josh has been here since June. So yeah, we are. It was a devotion.
Yes, it was amazing.
It was a good devotion.
Yeah.
Brandon,
Crushed it. High fives.
hey, which reminds me,
High five emoji.
that devotion,
Look at that book.
along with all the other devotions, are in this book that you can get for $6.99.
Sponsors.
If you look at all the other devotions that surround it, they're like $10, $15.
Yes.
This is the cheapest one, and it's unreal because it's
We
got
prefer
100.
to say the least expensive one because it is not cheap.
Yeah, no, it's not. 126 pages before you run into your note. Well, you can't see that before you run into your notes pages because it's got pages for notes. It is
You're going to want to take notes.
It is so good. Anyways, $6.99 on Amazon. You can get this. Excited.
I think mine's coming in today.
Are you Prime?
Yeah.
Prime? Yeah.
We ordered it last week and it said it was going to be delivered on Friday. So I go to my mailbox. I'm all excited.
Ooh, an anticipatory.
And
mailbox
it wasn't there.
Search.
It wasn't there. And
Yeah.
so I said, why isn't our book here? And so Elizabeth pulled it up and there was issues with the carrier.
Yeah. Was
So,
it DH? It was
USPS. USPS. So
Carrie Nicholson said, I warned you. It happened. Yeah.
What happened?
The books.
Oh,
the length of time. Get the delivery.
yes.
Yeah.
Delivery.
But I'm a Prime member, and normally they're pretty consistent.
Always, man.
I am
I'm
thankful.
Have you ever had a drone drop one off at your house? Like it's
Have
super
you?
cool. No. But I imagine it'd be pretty cool.
But they have. They
Yeah.
do.
No, they
Get it.
they
They
do.
do that.
They do.
Get it out of your system. There you go. But yeah, so Amazon will deliver to you with a drone now, which is really cool. Like
So
But-
I wish I could. Can I show them our text
I want
message?
to do that.
which
Where
maybe
Paul said,
It's like you
maybe
Dude.
Nikki Davis said maybe USPS is reading it first.
So does that mean?
"Hey,
you
that would
can,
be
like,
okay."
They did. Corey Tripp says they done took your book. Oh yeah. Oh, she was talking about the break-in. I warned you, it happened. Yeah. So they broke into my car, but I drive a. For those who don't know, I'm very humble.
Get a new car.
I drive a 2004 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Liability only for all the people, all the parents out there.
Get a new car.
No heat, no AC.
No heat, no
perfectly
AC,
fine.
perfectly
Get a new
fine.
car.
Well, I've got heat in the summer, and I got AC in the winter when the windows go down. But we don't keep nothing in there, so whatever. We got to pray for them.
So Paul's texting me last night.
That's why I put hyphen
I
do.
know. I know.
Dude.
So Paul's texting
I
me
don't know
last
if you'll be able to
night,
see it.
That's something that I would do.
and
You can't.
Yeah, you can't see
You
it.
cannot see that.
So
Yeah, I'm texting them, and anyways.
and he says, "Hey, it's a very, very good devotion if we do tomorrow's show. It's on Joseph." And I said,
It is a good one.
"You said doo doo."
Out of all that, you said doo-doo.
Oh, it's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
what can I say?
So yeah,
I'm an idiot.
Skydive Little Washington is happening. Hey, I'm gonna mess with the camera a little bit, so don't you dare worry about it. I'm messing with the camera, messing with the camera.
I think there's a car
Hopefully
that
we
just drove
don't.
by.
We're starting to disappear. Messing with the camera.
Paul, stop.
Whatever. Cool.
Stop.
All right. Hey, we're going skydiving on Friday. Skydive Little Washington.
Yeah, and by we he means him.
Yeah, me and Byron Trimble,
Yeah.
the comedian, is going to be here. He Skyped in with us a few weeks ago. Y'all loved him. If you haven't already gotten your tickets, get them for
Yes.
First Free Will Baptist
We'll be
comedy
there.
tour.
I'll be there. You'll
we
be
will be
there.
there. So I will have Brandon's books with me there also.
Yeah.
So if
That's
you
really
want to
cool.
get a copy, you can hang on
Come
until
hang out.
Friday. I think I'm bringing 50 copies or so, something like that.
Okay.
But it's going to be good. But we're going skydiving. We're recording a bunch of stuff.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah.
I've never been skydiving. I'm not so sure. I would go. I would go skydiving.
Yeah?
Yeah. If Byron Bell's on, you call me.
You would really go skydiving?
Yeah, of course.
Are you jumping before
With you,
or
I
after?
would.
Sure.
That's
I trust
encouraging. That's good.
I trust you. I would definitely go.
My neighbor is the one who I'm going to be tandem with. He's
Robbie?
like 5 houses down.
Robbie?
No, the guy who's I strap. I get
Robbie,
strapped
I
to.
love you, man, but
Robbie, I think we were supposed to do something a long time ago. Yeah, I'm sorry, Robbie. That came out of nowhere. Yeah. So tickets are sold at the door. That's
are.
huge. So if you want to go to the comedy show and hang out with us Friday night, then you can buy your ticket at the door. It's gonna be cool.
and we get to have that perfect union of the bridge and Beyond Limits together.
Hey, stop.
Perfect union.
Touch the mic.
It is gonna be good.
Why would
It's
you
gonna
do
be a good
that?
time.
Little,
Rude.
little weird.
How was your weekend?
Great.
How was it? It was easy enough.
I got burnt.
How? What does that mean?
Like
Sunburn?
everywhere. So
He went to the beach.
Are you sunburned right now?
Everywhere. Yeah.
He went to the beach.
It's
Uh-huh.
not fun.
And he just sat in a chair in front of the water,
Look,
which
there's
is one of my
nothing wrong
favorite
with
things
that.
to do. I said that's one of my favorite things to do.
You see the video of that lady? Hey, when you get off of here, YouTube. It was on Facebook, so you might be able to. The lady who's swimming with the shark, but she doesn't know it. Like, dude's recording her, which is weird. But clearly, he saw the shark. That's why he was recording. But she's down there swimming, and he's like 7 stories above.
He can't holler at her.
And no, and like the shark is swimming. She's like, she rolls over on her back, and and this shark is underneath of her, like swimming around. And then you hear the people on shore start yelling, "There's a shark!" Then she freaks out, and like, so she's paddling fast, and and that causes the shark to say, "Oh, there's food," and like, so now he's coming. Like, it's intense, and then he just turns and goes the other way. Clearly, he was just checking her out. Like, if he wanted to have her
Eat
for
her.
lunch, then he would have. But he goes up, checks her out, and goes the other way. You know, whatever.
Did you just say?
My wife said feet on the ground.
Does anybody use Facebook before you?
Well,
said
his
that
feet
sentence?
his feet will be on the
Pretty
ground.
sure you did.
Eventually.
I trust the people there.
Yeah. I heard a funny story, a joke about boots on the ground the other day.
Uh-huh.
It was pretty hilariousness.
Sounds like a military.
Yeah, it was. Well,
Hilarious.
it was. They were talking about boots on the ground. Where was it? And he said it was a comedian, and the comedian said, "Wouldn't it be awesome if everybody thinks boots on the ground means we're sending people to war to the
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be really cool if we just bombarded them with boots?" And boots on the ground. He said, next thing, how are they going to fight us with 7 feet of boots in front of them? We'll destroy them with boots on the ground. That was pretty funny.
That is funny.
Yeah, I don't know who to give credit to for that because I can't remember where I heard it, but it was not original with me.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Carrie.
Oh, Carrie.
This is a question for Carrie.
Okay.
I went to show the video of our break-in friends. Our friends who are less fortunate than us.
Yeah.
So they have to steal from us.
Yeah.
Those friends.
Okay.
And the video was gone. It says content not available.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, did the Popo, which happens, a lot of times if we were investigating and we had a lead, we'd snatch it off of all social media. Like,
Okay.
there's a way to take every post related down, just so that nobody gets tipped off before. So did that, were you made to take it down? Was my question there. So yeah.
Yeah. She probably wouldn't have been made to take it down. You wouldn't contact her and say, "Hey, take this down." You just take it down.
Detectives will.
They would.
Mhm,
Oh.
Yeah. They
How do you
won't-
make it not available?
Because you
though?
need a search warrant to get on somebody's Facebook and do that. But you can voluntarily surrender a post. Yeah.
Huh. Very interesting.
Interesting.
Very interesting. We've got to get I've got to get a ring
A ring?
doorbell.
Oh.
Oh, I was like,
It's like, well, I've got a ring right here. So yeah, dude, we love you guys. So this week is stacked. Corey's gonna be back on Wednesday. Got some huge news coming up.
Y'all won't be here for that.
come on, Paul.
It's gonna be good.
Y'all won't be here for that.
It's gonna be good. Friday, we're gonna have Byron Trimble in the house with us, telling some jokes. We're gonna make him laugh like a puppet. I mean,
Yeah.
tell me a joke, puppet, and he's gonna do it. And then we're gonna go skydiving, and then we're gonna go it's all day with Byron. It's gonna be really cool. And then we're gonna go to his comedy tour.
Yeah.
And so, and hey, if you get a VIP ticket, you get to meet and hang out with him, which
Yes,
is
I
really
have
cool.
a VIP ticket.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good time. and get one of Brandon's books. The convention, if you're a part of it, is coming up in just 3.5 weeks. We'll see you there also.
Yes.
We're live streaming from #WeStartChurches. Our friends, we're going to be interviewing
All kinds of people.
all kinds of people. Jason Taylor, Casey, just church planners. So it'll be cool. We'll get Donna Crabtree on this side of the camera, which would be
that'll be
really
fun.
cool having you here
awesome.
with us. It's just going to be a good time. Marriage, maybe?
For
It's
the ring.
The ring.
Yeah, the ring. He's already married.
I'm already married.
Hands off.
We're not Mormon, so.
I mean, I love Paul,
Aw,
but
No.
I don't. Not like that.
No.
thank you. His mom said that, not me.
Oh, to Jeremy.
Okay.
Jeremy was fussing at my wife. Hey, Miss Donna, it was good seeing you too.
Yeah.
Why'd you look
Except
at Paul when you said
I didn't really
that?
see you.
So we love you guys. Yeah, we were talking about Corey. He's going to be Wednesday. A lot going on. We sent off the paperwork to be Beyond Limits, and I held this up like I was wearing my Beyond Limits shirt. No, I woke up this morning and realized that all 17 Beyond Limits shirts I have are nowhere to be found.
I got mine though.
You do, and that's actually the only one that was pressed. But I knew you would probably wear that one if you wore one.
It's the people who broke into
The
your
only one that was
car.
what?
They just stole
That's
shirts.
of mine. That's the only one that was pressed,
Yeah.
ironed.
Oh.
They
Do you
probably-
iron your
they
shirts?
Probably did.
I didn't iron this one because I pulled it right out of the dryer this morning because I washed it last night.
Yeah.
Or this morning, whatever. And so I didn't need to, but yes,
I'm gonna
normally I
steal.
do.
I'm gonna make.
But I turn them
some-
inside out and
Like-
iron them that way.
$10
Inside
per shirt.
Is that how you get around the? I didn't know that.
out. Inside out.
I
Not even better yet.
thank
Like,
you.
What else resale? Like
So,
90
anyways, hang out with us at the National Convention. Come see us Friday at Byron Trimble's Comedy Tour at First Free Will Baptist Washington. First Free Will Baptist's church's page,
Yeah.
so you're up to date on that. We start churches. It seems like I'm saying a lot of stuff, but I am. But it's all important stuff.
It is.
We want to meet you and hang out with you and record video with you. And do stuff like that. So it's gonna be exciting. All right, y'all say guy. Y'all say guy. Y'all say bye.
Bye. Bye.
Hey, you know what I haven't?
Awesome.
You know what I haven't said in a while?
Peace,
Love and grace.
and grace.
Woo! Peace, love,
It has
and
been
grace.
awesome
Yeah.
having Jared back, and I can assure you. No, hold on. Before we get off, morning show.
Yeah.
September.
September 3rd, there's a new morning show
excited. It's gonna
coming
be
to the
cool.
bridge.
And it looks cool.
Yeah,
There's
Lee and
a
Lee will be
Joel's
on.
gonna be up there.
Joel will be there.
Joel
Yeah.
Money.
So, and if you, Miss Donna, if you don't, you can download the
My Bridge FM app.
Whoa.
Congratulations. that was well.
Yeah, and listen to it there. Keep the music playing.
That was well.
In my, I messed it up.
That was well
That was well
with my soul.
with my soul.
But yeah, so
I messed that one up.
we love you
But,
guys.
yeah.
But that's huge.
That is
September
exciting.
morning
and
show.
the tentative plans are to make it a 4-hour show.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
4-hour show.
so that'll be fun.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what happens? 4 hours. A 4-hour show.
Joe's gonna get crazy.
4-hour show.
It's gonna be good. All right, now we love you guys. Jared is gonna be on here often. I feel it's gonna be
Yay.
good. He'll definitely be with us in not St. Louis,
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Cool. Have a great Monday.
See
Have a
y'all.
good Monday. Be like
Hey,
Joseph, no
thanks.
matter what you're going through today.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Fun times.
Whoa.
He
God,
he just
you,
touched your
you
beard.
breathed out, and that was disgusting.
God is faithful.
You breathed hot nose fluid on my finger.
God is faithful.
God is faithful. No matter what you're going through today, God is faithful.
Yes.
No matter what you're going through tomorrow, God is faithful.
That's right.
All right. We love you guys.
See ya.
Share the video. And hey, and if you're just tuning on, I'm trying to drag and drop. If you're just tuning on, and you missed this whole show, you can go back and watch it, or you can catch just the podcast portion on Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, Stitcher, all of them.
Anywhere where there's a podcast,
Any,
you'll find it.
if there's a podcast, you'll find it. Just search Beyond Limits. You got us. And it is just the podcast portion, just that 30-minute devotion. So yeah, we love you guys.
We love you.
Have a good week.
See y'all.
Bye.
Don't make a creepy face, Josh. Stop it. That's the last image they get to see. And there's a good chance it'll be our screenshot. Like when people look at and they're like, do I want to watch this video? This is what they're going to see. Make a good face, man. On the count of 3, do your best. 1, like a normal. Don't stare. What is What are you doing? All right, on the count of 3. Just look like Jared looks. 1, 2. I love you guys. Bye.
Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need